Hey, everybody, and welcome to your new favorite Love is Blind recap. My name is Nicole Hernandez, and today I have my good friend Danielle, also known as It's Your Girl D, here with me to recap Love is Blind. As always, we're gonna be talking about it like you have watched it. You know, don't waste your time. We already wasted ours, and we will break down the contestants. I'm so excited, D.
Yes.
Danielle, to have
So
you here,
then, didn't know which way it was gonna go this season because past seasons have not disappointed, but
right?
so much has happened already. Let's just get into it.
Are you excited? Did you think what do you think about the cast? Before we're gonna jump right into it, guys. But I feel like the cast needs its own little special note. Denver, I don't know where they found these people.
Yeah, Denver definitely served its purpose. From the pictures, Googling them, seeing the cast before, the show started, I just thought, okay, like they look really regular schmegular. Like I thought, they look kind of boring. Maybe one or two look like they might be messy, but I mean, episode one, I was just shocked at.
Same here. I was super shocked because I too thought the cast was gonna be super regular, but these people were a little off, real off. So we're gonna be going through this couple by couple. And so we have to start with a couple of the love triangle that had the most drama. The Anna Blake Patrick situation was so left field. But first, I want to talk about Anna. She, right off the top, was my favorite person. Like, I liked her personality. Like, I was like, this girl's definitely going to find love. Like, I don't understand why she hasn't found love. And even when they got in the pods, I was like, oh, yeah, she's making it to Cabo with no problem.
Yeah, she definitely gave off that like girl next door, good head on her shoulders, super cute. Like definitely I was like, okay, she's definitely going to make a connection. And when she got herself in a little love triangle, I was like, we are not traditional
Yeah.
child. She definitely surprised me, but I loved it for her. I feel like in the real world, she definitely would be someone to have had, not the best of luck. Because she definitely seemed just super sweet, um, like really kind, good hearted. And I feel like a lot of people would have definitely taken advantage of her. Oh, and then, her looks and the way she felt about herself. I think this was definitely a great experience for her. I was just really sad that she did not see it through.
Right. Because, okay, you guys, Anna had a really strong connection with Blake, and Anna had a really strong connection with Patrick. But with Blake, it felt like he was a normal guy that she was used to. He was like a regular white guy. And then with Patrick, they really connected on the fact that they're both Asian, grew up in predominantly white areas, and had only been in relationships with white people. So they had this weird connection where like we have so much in common, her and Patrick, we have so much in common. But we don't usually are each other's type, but it was so nice for them to feel this connection. And then out of nowhere, Anna just doesn't show up to the pods
Ghost.
and just ghosts. She ghosts Blake, she ghosts Patrick, and it really left. That was the first, I feel like that was the first moment in the show that I was like, oh wait, this season is kind of it's a little spicy because I felt like at the beginning it was a little like a little slow to start. And then once she just randomly walked out, I was like, is Anna a mole? Is she a mole? Because why did she just leave like that?
Yeah, I'm really shocked because, like you said, I definitely saw her and Blake, like Blake was her type. on paper in the real world. With Patrick, I was like, literally, I wrote on my notes, like, the perfect Asian couple. Like, they would have been so cute. It would have been out of the norm. The whole experience, the whole point of this is to date or choose someone that you typically wouldn't in the real world. That's why you're here. This is why this is almost like your last resort,
Right.
because what you're going for did not work for you. So I really thought her and Patrick were gonna like go the distance, and just like the backgrounds, the personalities, I think they really complemented each other. So when she like just dipped, I think she really was torn between the two men, and unfortunately, the emotions, I think, just got the best of her and couldn't handle it.
And you know what was crazy about that is Blake was Sparkle Megan, who we'll get to, was Sparkle Megan's number one. But
Mm,
after Anna left the show, Blake then decided to go Sparkle Megan and just leave the show too, which I did not expect because I definitely thought Blake's number one was Sparkle Megan. I didn't think it was Anna's. I didn't think Blake had Anna as his number one. I
no, I
didn't
definitely
see
thought
that.
him and Sparkle Megan, I think on paper, with the other connections, I think he would have been the best choice for her. And I think they were building a pretty good connection. And then once I got, once Anna dipped out, it almost like had this like trickle effect.
Yeah.
And he then felt the pressure of like, well, what do I do? And decided to leave as well. And I'm like, why are they dropping like flies?
Yeah. Exactly. And then once Blake left, Patrick, I just knew Patrick was gonna leave. I did not expect Patrick to stay on the show, but once he stayed and committed to Casey, now okay, Patrick, okay, so in my notes, Casey, the first thing I wrote was, is she the villain?
Okay.
And clearly I was right.
Yeah. No, the first time she came on, I put that she reminded me of a selling the OC, selling sunset realtor. Like, it was like, this girl is gonna be so messy. This is not her show.
It's not.
Like, it's
Not.
not
And
like,
Patrick, he literally was just trying to make it to Cabo. He was willing to do whatever it took to make it to Cabo. And it really pissed me off when um Casey forced him to tell her his ethnicity. That like really pissed me off because how dare you? This is Love is Blind. How dare you gonna make somebody share their ethnicity? That's like the whole point.
yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure that was on the do not ask list, because
Right.
how what you look like anything like that. And then the way she like manipulated him to tell her, I was like, this isn't the show for you, girl. Like, whatever your ulterior motives are, like, you're not here for love. You're definitely here for your own agenda and your few followers. And
Okay, and so if you've seen the show, then you already know that Patrick is an Asian man and Casey is a blonde white woman. But the crazy thing about it was Casey really thought she was that girl. That and you know the thing is about Netflix is if you feel like you are that girl, they're gonna show you why you're not. And I don't know if you caught it, but the extensions were not matching. The hair was zooming in, and I was like, Netflix, you cannot zoom into Casey's hair like that.
yeah,
And the makeup was not blending, and the lipstick was not her color.
it was not. The nose patches, it
Yeah.
was, we need some setting spray. They needed to touch her up. They needed to fix her up, but they definitely were like, "All right, like, you're definitely feeling yourself. Wait till you watch this back."
Right. And then, okay, so Patrick and Casey fake their way into love, basically. And Patrick ends up proposing to Casey. But when they actually met each other, I was like, girl,
Not it. You couldn't she tried to fake it so hard. I'm like, "Baby girl, we are seeing right through you." Like, she's in shock, I'm sure, and trying to think like, keep it together, like, just I mean, I applaud her for fully committing and getting through that whole first meet and greet, but I knew at some point she's gonna dip. She's
she was
gonna
gonna
dip.
dip.
They're not gonna make it very far. I don't know when, but, for a second she had me because I was like, "Okay, maybe she's like, let me just, like, fully go with this,"
Right.
like, obviously I connected him. Some of the conversations they had were a bit cringe, and I thought,
Very.
like, "You're really going having these conversations with this man. You're telling him things that you're gonna do to him, and
Right.
then
That was so weird. Like we didn't have to hear Casey and she was like sexualizing herself
yeah,
so hard.
that's unfortunately, that's her MO. That's the
Yeah.
only thing going for her. Unfortunately, in the real world, that's how she would, I guess that's what worked for her, and some girls unfortunately fall into that and rely on their looks because they're a little duddy inside, their personality's not all that great, so they gotta work with what they have, but, I mean, I just felt so bad for Patrick. I'm like, "Oh,
So
just"
bad.
yeah.
So bad. And I really didn't like how Casey kept trying to say, it's not because he's Asian, because my brother only dates Asian girls, and my sister has Asian. It was like this whole thing. Oh, my dad was in Korea.
Things and Korean, my sister sings, like, we're such an interracial family, like, I have no problem. No, girl,
You have a problem. You have a type.
give
And
type.
that's okay. You have a type. Everybody on the show has a type. That's why they're on the show, is they're trying to get away from the type. Like that's the whole point. And she did not she didn't feel comfortable to really get into the how the show worked.
Yeah, no, definitely this was not the show for her. I mean, I don't know if she thought to herself, "Let me just try this, like, maybe I can do this." I mean, unfortunately, in a way, I mean, she got stuck with Patrick. Patrick was, I mean, essentially, uh, she was his second choice
Yeah.
for plan B. Little did you know. And like, it still didn't work out. And it's like, I just wish she would have been just more honest about, like, hey, you know what? Like, I just can't go through with this. It's like after they had meted and like did the face to face, she should have told production, like, no, because at the end, she showed her face.
Yeah. And
She played both cards of how keeping it fluffy with him, but then felt the tea on how she really felt and why she really was dumping him. But he thought, "Oh, you just don't want to go to Mexico. Like, it's okay. We'll just date in the real world." And she's like, "I just can't. I just can't." And it's like, girl, you're not answering his question, but he was so oblivious at the same time that it's
right.
like,
Soon as they brought out those cafeteria tables, I knew like, oh, she's about to break up with him. And the way she sat there and told Patrick, like, so we're just not going, I just can't go to Mexico. I just can't go to Mexico. And he really thought like, oh, yeah, that's fine. We could try this thing outside of um the show. Yeah, I understand you're not comfortable. We can try this outside the show. And the way she couldn't just tell him, like, "We are breaking up," and then the way she kept trying to say, like, "It's not because of his ethnicity or whatever, this and that." And Netflix is so messy because after the breakup, they show her like, "Oh, yeah, it's just like I can't do this because, I'm basically like, I'm gonna break up with him. I'm comfortable." Like, she was cool. And then once he came in the picture, she was just like so dramatic. Like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I just," and I'm like, "Girl."
You and like bravo, like give her an Oscar because homegirl really like played him to the end. And it's like
That was sad to watch.
you were like, yeah, I'm not attracted to him. I'm not gonna be able to like convince myself otherwise. And he comes in the picture, waterworks and all the emotion. And the poor guy's like, oh my God, is everything okay? Like, yeah, it's overwhelming. Like, I understand. And he's like trying to be like
Helpful.
full in the situation and even asked her, like, are you breaking up with me?
Yeah.
And still, she basically said, no, I just need to go home. And it's like, you know, Netflix will always expose you.
Always. And they needed to be able to expose her because this cast was already a mess.
Yes.
Okay. I want to get into the next couple. Sparkle, Megan. Sparkle, Megan, at first I thought she was going to be like this um girl next door. Just sparkly. But she quickly became I'm bougie, I'm rich, I got bags of money, I get to the bag, I make real money out here, and I dated billionaires. Like Sparkle Megan was really trying to say, she really wanted to call herself Rich Megan. Okay. Now, she had the love triangle between Mike and Jordan. And before we get into the difference between Mike and Jordan, well, we could just say Mike is uh F boy. I think Mike was a F boy.
Definitely is the player. I definitely wrote down next to his name, like, is the type that has a work wife. Because I saw with my good girlfriend who's in a whole relationship. First of all, y'all both wrong for that
Yeah,
because
exactly.
I'm getting caught in a sauna with anyone other than my own man because that's crazy.
Crazy. And then
Yeah.
we had Jordan who was like, I'm just a dad, I like, but I'm super tatted and I'm just, a regular schmegular guy. But my marriage didn't work out and I'm just a dad and I just want to work and come home to my family and a hot meal and I drive an old car. He really tried to play like I'm just a good dad, but
Like, yeah, trying to make it in this hard world, like, which, you know, no shade to that, but he definitely tried to make it seem more innocent than like kind of pity.
right. It was
Er,
definitely giving pity.
And he definitely downplayed his tattoos with Megan.
Yeah,
He's
I
like, oh,
didn't understand that.
but the 5 cat tattoos, I would have been like, I'm out. I'm
Yeah.
out. I'm
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. The 5 cat tattoos was a little too much. Um Did you think so Sparkle Megan, she ends up picking Jordan over Mike. Did you think she was gonna pick Jordan over Mike, or did you think she was gonna go with Mike? But you know what? Wait, that one conversation that they had where you know what it was? Okay. Once Mike didn't know what diabetes 1 was, and he made that comment like, "We're both in wellness. What is he feeding his kids for his kid to have diabetes 1?" I was like, "Oh, Mike, it's over." You like dug his grave.
She went in her journal, like,
Yeah, like, "This idiot, you don't even know that, diabetes 1 is not has nothing to do with food. You thought it
And
was."
her dad passed away from that, and it's like, "Sir,"
Sir,
like,
you have no clue
no,
the ditch you just dug.
no. But somehow she still entertained it, which I think for a while I was going back and forth between the 2.
Yeah.
Each it came out, I think, feeling really good with each guy, so I was like, "I don't know, like, this could really go either way." Yeah, I really was going back and forth between the 2. Um, I mean, like, I think I resonated with her as far as, like, Mike is definitely her type on paper. In the real world, that would have been her man, that's who she would have pursued. I think with Jordan, honestly, I literally wrote, um, she would eat him and spit him out. I don't think, like, Jordan is going to be able to handle the type of woman she truly is because she does love the lavish lifestyle. She has worked hard for her money, like, um, and I mean, granted, the 2 can work because I feel like maybe if Jordan was a little bit more mature, I think that's what it is with Jordan. It could work because I like the fact that she's Little Miss Bougie, but he's so, like, simplistic and minimalist, and I think in some cases that can really work to balance out, like, he can really, um, just, like, smooth her over with that, and then she can kinda, like, spruce him up and, like, you know, fix his style a little bit, like, but I think I would have just gone for, Mike at that point because I just feel like with her and Jordan, she's gonna feel like she's, like, not only raising, his child, but raising 2 children with him. So, it'll be
Ooh. Clock.
to see, I mean, just saying the way he, comes off, I'm
Yeah.
just, "Oh, like, like, if you don't get it together, Jordan, like, she's gonna get tired of your stuff." And I think towards the end, I guess, the beginning of Mexico towards the end of, episode 6, I definitely saw the she was getting a little irritated with him.
See, I definitely thought Jordan was the good match for her over Mike because I too thought he could equal her out. But once they got to Cabo and I saw that she was like, "Oh, Jordan needs a little Cartier," like, and he was like, "Oh, I don't need that." And then when he started drinking too much in Cabo and him and Joe, that whole situation, I just thought, "Oh no, she can't take you to what was she saying, France? She can't take you to around bougie people."
No.
Because if we just got to, and for second of all, Netflix is so messy for having them drink in that hot sun like that.
And and those drinks were flowy. The
Whoa.
shots were
It
flowy.
was
I was like, "Oh."
oh, like they were wrong for that, but there should have been a balance and
Mhm.
she was I think she's all good with having fun, but she still wants her man to keep it together. And Jordan, he the more we saw of Jordan, the more we saw that he's like, "No, I'm gonna have a really good time." And the places that Sparkle Megan is going, you can't have that good of a time. You need to have a regular hold yourself together time. And
Yeah.
so and now we're on the TV. My family is seeing that I picked you. The cameras are cameraing and you're gonna act like this? And 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 on top of that, Sparkle Megan went out of her way to say that he was the best she ever had. She was really coming in hot.
Yeah, she definitely pumped him up. I low key think all the girls were hyping the men up a little too much.
Yes.
Um, and the fact that the girls were like, "Yeah, my man's the best, like, it's great," and all this and that. It's like, first of all, mm, I don't
We
think
don't
so.
believe you.
And little do you know, the men are talking quite the opposite.
That part, they were like, "It just is what it is." And I was like,
Yeah.
"Okay."
Yeah, and then, like, "Okay, like, you got it, you did it, you did it, you did it." Oh, and then, Edmund's like, "I didn't, but"
And we're gonna get to Edmund because the more people are doing think pieces on Edmund, I'm like, I think Edmund is on the spectrum
I could see that. I
because
could see that because the energy
yeah,
is at a 10 at all
like
times.
the emotional like unregulation or whatever, not regulated. I think he is on the spectrum.
Yeah.
And I felt like if he is, that should have been communicated.
1,000% because, I mean, I feel like he was pretty open with everything else,
Yeah.
I think with Edmund, I actually really liked him in the beginning.
Yeah.
Uh, I just really felt for him and, like, his background and, like, how he grew up and what he, like, went through, and it's like, you know what? The fact that you're here and, like, you have the job that you have and you're in the position that you are and, like, this how far you've come as a person, like, I definitely applaud that, and I absolutely loved the conversations him and Calabria had, and I was like, favorite couple, like, they are so mature, they're really getting deep, like, opening up about all this stuff and, like, just the everything that they had in common, like, just
Yeah.
family-wise and religious rise, like, everything, I was like, "You can't get any better than this," and then the energy started to bug me, I think, a little bit towards the end just because I was like, "Okay, you're at, like, a 10, like, all the time." Like, in the beginning, it's cute, it's funny, it's endearing, but let's, like, simmer it down a little bit, And I'm like think, "Okay, maybe it's just me, maybe it's just me, and maybe this is what she likes, I don't know, I hope it works out." And then Mexico with the drink and all this everything, I think, combined, Edmund definitely lost me. Um The way just the way he talked about her and their intimacy, and I don't know if he was just putting on a face with the guys, like, "Oh, like, I can't," she wants to wait till marriage. Bro, first of all, it's like in 4 weeks. Relax, okay?
Relax.
Second of all, you're now low key mad that everyone else has gone to taste and is having fun and doing the whole experience, and you're the odd one out. And I think that hit him different because he's always felt that growing up. So he's like, "Oh, like here I go again. I'm the odd one out. I'm the one not participating." And definitely took it out on her in the wrong way, and the emotional inconsistency that he had, the breakdown, I was like, where is this coming from? You make no sense. You are spiraling over something so, like, simple,
Yeah.
and you're crying because you're the nice guy. And what does that have to do with your partner wanting to wait to actually get married? Like, if that was an important factor, you should have maybe said something like, "Hey, like, what's your stance on, you know, wait till marriage?"
I think you hit it on the head. Like he was just triggered. He was so triggered. He's like, I'm always a nice guy. I'm always left out. Everybody else gets to do this and that, and I don't. Like he was just beyond triggered, but he should have had the confidence to say, like, marriage, 4 weeks, I love you. And if this is what you want to do, this is great. On the other side of it all, Calibra or whatever, however you say her name, because I'm not gonna get it right, but I will continue to try to get it right.
by
Um,
KB.
KB, yeah. KB, that toxic question is if a man grabs me at the bar, what are you gonna do? Girl, look at him. He said the right thing that he should do. Ask, say, hey, maybe ask for security or whatever go. But what if it's a guy your size? What are you gonna do? How are you gonna protect me? I was like, girl, look at him. He needs to tell somebody to, hey, let go of her and call the police. That's what he should do. Like, it was so toxic to me that she was on this high horse that if a man were to grab her, that her man needed to then attack the other man. He's like, I don't believe in putting my hands on people. And it was such a weird scenario because like how often are you somewhere and some random man grabs you on the arm? Like, I don't know. Like I felt like that was such a toxic question.
She definitely reached with that question. I don't know if it's because maybe now they're maybe the good conversation starting to fade, and she's like, I don't know what else to talk about, and they got to for an hour or something like that. So I think, and then also, I mean, who knows where that question really came from? I mean, that is really far fetched. I mean, I think it's something that like she should be able to tell based off conversation, his personality, how he would approach certain things, right? Because some men come off very masculine, like, oh no, like, don't touch my girl. Like, if anyone like tries to disrespect you, da 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 da, like, they're gonna regret it type thing. And then him comes off very much of a lover, not a fighter. Like, Edmund lover, like puppy golden retriever lover. That man, if he does not need to fight, he will choose that route. He would rather just walk away. Honestly, I could see him like leaving her and just dipping like, hey, you know what? You got it better than I do. you you can defend yourself, ma'am. And
Yeah.
it's like, I think if that's the type of man that she wanted, she should have reevaluated things in the pods, because the entire time he was such a lover boy. He was like, so like he seemed very emotionally stable and mature. And, that's definitely not the vibe I got. I definitely didn't get the I'm a protect you type guy. He obviously would, I'm sure,
Call the
would,
police.
yeah, definitely call the police. We're calling security. Like, I need you to run. Imma run, so you need to be right behind me. Like, we gotta go because
Like, we're gonna
Edmund.
run.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah, and yeah. Yeah, we'll see how the next episodes go for Edmund and KB because from all the promo, it looks like they make it to the altar. So, but there's no way I see KB saying yes. There's just no way. I don't see it at all.
No, I think she's starting to realize little by little, uh, the bigger picture with him, and I just don't think that in the end, um, he's for her, um, as, like, you know the full picture that she wants in a person. Like, he's just unfortunately not it. I think he has potential to be, but I think certain things will come up. And I feel like if she does stay true to wanting to wait until marriage, I feel like at some point that's going to be a breaking point for them.
KB just wants to make it to the finality. She
Yeah.
doesn't make it to the finale. She wants to see the process through, as Nick would say. Just see it through, guys. Okay, Nick, because you need at least 4 people to get up there.
Yeah.
I think that she's gonna, go along for the ride. Um, she's gonna tell him no. Okay, next up. Oh my goodness. I was gonna say Annie, Nick, and Brett. And oh wait, let's do Annie, Nick, and Brandon. But a special little note for the Nick wait, no, no. Okay, before we get into Annie, Nick, and Brandon, Nick was going between Annie and oh, what was her name? Katie. Kate. Kate.
Kate, yes, Kate.
And so when Nick was going between Annie and Kate, he obviously had a very strong connection with Kate, I thought. Like I felt that was way stronger than he did with Annie. But towards the end there, Nick cut it off with Kate because Kate says she wasn't religious. But Kate had already told Nick that she wasn't religious. And the way he just found a point and tried to throw it back at her, like that was the most lit situation that I felt like we had seen all episodes. Like Nick really went at Kate as if she never told him that she wasn't religious. And at that point he was just like, well, you know, if you're not religious, then I gotta just pack it up. I gotta go. This is not gonna work. And Kate was so blindsided in that moment of like, what do you mean? Like, I already told you. And Nick was like, well, no, I thought you were religious before, but then with the death of your parent, like it's like it caused you to think about it. The way Nick can find a reason and flip it and peace out, I thought that was so creepy. Mind you, Nick was already creepy, and people were trying to figure out why Nick was even on the show in the first place.
Yeah.
Everybody's gaydar went off on Nick online, questioning his sexuality, but Nick is just here to be on the show. Nick is just the way that he also love bombed Annie.
Yeah.
Nick is
Yeah.
just like Nick is all over the place, and I couldn't believe how all over the place Nick was. And the way Nick love bombed Annie and was able to take Brandon's place was so crazy to me because Brandon was like such a good guy. Like I didn't Annie flip from Brandon to Nick was so crazy to me. Like
Yeah. That threw me off for sure. Nick from the beginning, I wrote something's off.
yeah,
Something's off. Can't put my finger on it. Like I can't tell if he's been being genuine.
right.
The love bombing was love bombing with him. He's so good at it. The fact that he told Kate, I love you, but still kept her on a back burner. Like you're still entertaining these two women. You actually told one you loved them, and yet somehow, like, again, if certain topics are important to you and are deal breakers, why are we not making sure we're getting clarification about the whole thing? Because she briefly explained her background, how she, questioned things, when, her was it her mom
Yeah, her mom, I believe.
way, and then to me, I didn't get the feeling that she was open to it, but even then, if it was questionable, why not ask, "Hey, like, do you think you would be able to, like, come back to, being religious and, like, opening that door again because that is what I need in a wife," right? Um, and then so whatever happened in between the 2 with him, I feel like maybe he felt like, "Okay, done I've played all my cards with Kate. I'm not really getting, like, 100% that she's gonna choose me, so let's see what I can do with Annie, and then let me ask this question again out of the blue," and then again totally flipped it on her, like, like, he said he felt blindsided. I felt blindsided. Like, she kind of explained it to you. And then, yeah, like, she's like, "You told me you loved me, so when you love someone, you don't just cut them off and call it a day." But I think he maybe thought, "Okay, I'm more secure. I have a better chance with Annie going the distance as far as, like, the show-wise." But I definitely questioned, like, the whole conversation about his mom asking, like, his sexuality, and he didn't wanna share what he was going through, that he was real sad at the time, and his mom questioned, like, "Hey, what's going on?" Like, flat out asked him, like, "Are you, you know, gay?" And he was like, "Oh my gosh, like, no." And it's like, Are we sure? Are we sure?" But definitely, I didn't like how he loved bombed both of them, and he finessed his way, into Brendan's spot, and I just thought, "Oh, Annie, like, I
And
don't know."
and the fact okay, so the fact that Nick finessed his spot into Brandon's spot, I do feel like Netflix is editing, so we really don't know how things were. Like they're just editing it, so we're just kind of taking it as we see it. But Nick is a mess. Nick is a
Nick is he's a little slimy one there.
he's a little slimy one. And you know what? When Nick told Mike, "Oh, she's what did he said the line from last season like Megan's gonna hit an EpiPen when she sees you."
Yeah, she's gonna need an EpiPen when she sees you.
He's quoting last season two no, like 2 seasons ago. 2 seasons ago. He's quoting 2 seasons ago of what's her name when she said you're going to need an EpiPen when you see me. So
Yes.
when he did that and he did his laugh, like he knew, like yeah, they're gonna edit that in. And Mike had no clue. Mike had no clue what the reference was really from. He was just like, oh, yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Right, yeah.
I'm like Mike. And I felt like, oh, I know we're on Nick, but I felt like Mike was so fake. His person, I felt like he was so fake. But anyways, stay on track. Nick. Um, Brandon was talking so much sense. And like Annie was just not connecting the dots.
Mm.
She was just like not connecting the dots at all to what Brandon and Brandon was trying to say it without saying it. He was like, "Trust me. Listen to me. Listen to me. I am your person and Nick is not." Like he was really trying to say it without saying it. And when Nick proposed to Annie and he walked in and skipping and I'm engaged, whatever, and all the guys were just like disgusted. They were completely disgusted. Like, bro, what are you doing here? Like, why are you, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, the difference between her walking in, "I'm engaged," and the girl's like, "Yeah," like, so excited for her, and then he comes in, like, throwing it out there, and all the boys it looked like such a sad boy party, like,
Yeah.
got up, no one was excited, like, I think 2 of 'em went up and, like, congratulated him, and then he saw Brendan and was like, "Oh, I didn't know you were here." Like,
I thought you packed your bags and you were already out of here.
you first of all, you knew what you were doing. You were gloating. You're definitely trying to play this, like, facade of who you are portraying yourself to be so hard. I was like, "If you don't."
Sit
And
down.
then I had to go sit with Brendan, like, can
Bro,
you
Brendan is about to hit you in your face. Like you need to the when he walked over there, he had the nerve to walk over to try to talk to Brendan. Like, what are you doing? Like actually, what are you doing? Are you okay?
listen for Mr. Steal Your Girl, stay away. Like, he not not the time, not the place.
at all.
I
And
was like,
and then when Nick and Annie met each other, I just thought Annie was gonna be like, "What is this?" But she was like, "Love him. He's the best." And I was like, "Girl, you have no clue. You have no clue what you just missed out on, okay? If you think Nick is great, wait till you I can't wait till they all meet. Oh, I can't wait till they get set up and they all meet. Cause girl, you need to meet Brandon. And uh, um Brandon gonna get somebody. Brandon, I don't know who it is, but Brandon gonna get somebody. And if anything, Brandon's views, his Instagram is probably going up because um Brandon was definitely the better pick. But the way Annie was like really into Nick, and then in Mexico, it was like none of the other girls caught on to what was going like caught on to Nick at all. Like KB, when Edmund was trying to say, like, no, like Brendan really loved you and he was crying and this and that. And KB started sticking up for Nick. Well, and Annie, like, well, Nick is great and she loves Nick, so this is great. And Edmund's like, I'm trying to tell you something. Like the guy, like, I'm trying to tell you something and you are not listening. Like Brendan is way better. He was the guy.
he was the
And none of us trust Nick. None of us trust Nick. And the way KB was like sticking up and not understanding, and I give it to Edmund because he really tried. He really tried to be like, so, you know?
yeah, he tried to like throw it in there real quick, just like um let me just give you a clue. Let me try to be a friend and like open your eyes a little bit, just like, uh take the rose colored glasses off because I feel like she definitely she's talking herself into the fact that like no, Nick's the best choice. He's the one I want. I wouldn't change anything about him. Like, no, you really wanted like a more masculine type guy. That's, I think, what you definitely need. Um, so I don't know what words, how Nick convinced you, talked you into choosing him instead of Brendan, but I think the love bombing is what got to her because Brendan was definitely saving it. He was giving her enough to make it to, I guess, the top 2 until, like, decision day, but, I think that she definitely loved the love bombing. I don't know what her past relationship, history or experience has looked like, but obvious it might have not been the best because the love bombing got her, and Brendan was willing to literally just open up and, like, propose to her, that day that they both had, I think, the gifts, and he just said, "You know what? Don't even open that." Like, still gave her a chance to sleep on it, and she definitely, I think, missed the opportunity with that. But, I mean, hopefully, she realizes it. I think she's gonna second guess her choice once they all finally meet for sure.
For sure. And especially, it definitely was the love bombing. The love bombing, that was the real thing. Like she just fell in love with the love bombing. Like it just is what it is. One last thing, in Mexico, it definitely felt like Nick and Sparkle Megan had a little bit of bestie energy. Like we like the finer things. Like
Totally hook you up, watch dealer, like, they're definitely besties. They're definitely gonna be besties at the end of this. Yeah.
he's going on the trip to France.
She's going to take him, yeah.
Okay, he's on the trip because I don't know how this. You know what? I actually a little prediction. I think Sparkle Megan. I don't think her and Jordan are gonna work out, but I think Mike, for show purposes, I think they're gonna link up. I think she's gonna drop Jordan, and I think that Mike is going to say no to Sparkle Megan at the altar. I don't know. That's my prediction.
Oh, oh, you think she's gonna do a little partner switch
Yeah.
and
I think partner switch, and I think Mike's gonna say no at the altar. Because
hmm.
Mike is messy. Mike is messy.
Mike is definitely messy. I don't know, he kind of, like, made me second guess him a little bit because I felt he might generally be a little hurt that he didn't, like, get Megan, and I don't know if that was genuine, or if that's, like, my ego's hurt
Yeah.
kinda but, he was, like, basically about to, like, shed some tears, and I was like, "I don't know. Like, is this real? Is this not?" Because then maybe I think at the end he realized, like, "Oh, like, I'm I'm actually losing this girl, like, I'm not" he's so used to getting what he wants and being that guy that, girls just choose, and, obviously with this experiment, it's, a little different, and he just thought like, "Oh, I'm good, I'm good, I'm good," and then he realized like, "No, I lost." Um, I think I don't know if it was ego based or he genuinely realized like, "Oh, damn, like, no, I actually really like this girl because I am getting older. I do need to settle down. I need to scale back my playboy bachelor ways and realize like, yeah, no, you definitely messed up and messed around a little too much." And but I think when they meet, I feel like if she doesn't switch him out during the show, I feel like they're definitely gonna date
Outside.
after, or they've dated after filming, and try to see if that really would work.
Really hope that it is the case that Mike is like, "Oh, I actually really like this girl, and I could have just worked a little harder, but I was so reserved and in my ego. But when I really sat back, I actually really liked her. Like, what am I doing?" So I hope, we're we hope, but we'll see.
Like, do you not know? Like, that man is the complete opposite of me. Like, and they are very opposite physically. And I feel like losing to a guy that looks like Jordan was like, damn, like, that's who's my girl.
And I feel like Brandon felt the same way too. He was like, "Dang, how did I lose to Nick?" Like, I feel like he felt that same way.
Yeah, the guys definitely compared themselves hard to who actually, I
Yeah.
guess won per se. And
Let's go on to Joe and Madison. In the pods, I felt like, "Oh, you guys are a match made in heaven. Joe and Madison, you guys go together like peanut butter and jelly. This makes sense. You guys are all good." Like they had the perfect, I felt like pod situation. They didn't get in a fight. The editing was just great conversation. This makes sense. Never had like a tough conversation that we saw. Like it was just smooth and just, great. Even when they met each other and he after the proposal, I was like, "Oh, this is a match. Like this is an easy match." And then once they showed us that first clip in Mexico and Joe was like, "Listen." Then he might as well have called her a big back. Like, I don't really do big backs. And I
yeah,
really didn't think no I really didn't think that Madison was I guess she's curvy, I guess, but he might
yeah,
as well sat there and called her a big back, and I don't really usually mess with that type, but then had the nerve to be all up on her in Mexico. Like,
to be honest, I was kind of back and forth with them in the pods.
really?
I was like, okay, like, cool. I didn't think like, oh, they're so perfect for each other. I thought the conversation was good. what threw me off and I think started to convince me otherwise was, like, he had a conversation with her about, or someone, I can't remember, like, brought up the fact that, "Oh, my lease is up in July, so basically, like, can I move in?" And
Oh.
I'm like, "Not trying to find an to rehome himself. He is me, like, you haven't even got out the pods. You don't even know, like, are we having a financial like, do we have financial issues? Like,
True.
trying to secure a new place to live, and why you trying to live with your like, move into your girl's place? Why not have a conversation later down the line to be like, "Oh, let's move it," maybe she likes your place better. Let's find a new place together. So that kinda threw me off, and I'm like, okay, like, I don't know. It questioned his motives, I think, for me, because it just felt weird. And then when, um, he, like, proposed to Madison, I was like, "Okay." Um, I didn't really see that coming, but, uh, I was like, "Okay, maybe I just," because I feel like they didn't show them as much, so I don't think I had enough like, for me, it takes a lot to convince me, and so I think I didn't get enough footage to feel like like, it wasn't gonna be a surprise that he chose her, but then Mexico, like, took a turn for the worst. He even when they met, um, I was like, I can't tell, it's hard to read for me, but maybe, like, um because he didn't really talk about, like, what his preference was until, like, Mexico interviews, and when he brought up the fact that, like, "Yeah, I typically go for thinner women," I was like, "Oh, not this again." So, he definitely tried to convince himself, otherwise, I think, um, when the drinks hit the system, he was all over her. He was like, I basically like the fact that he needs to drink to be physically, touchy feely with her and do all that. I just thought this isn't going to end well. He should just be like honest with the fact that, like, just be more straight up about, like, the fact that she's not your type. Because she asked him on their excursion, like, basically, she kind of called him out, I think, like, you're basically saying, like, I'm not your typical type, but tried to, like,
Yeah.
sound better for her sake, I think. And he still wasn't very, like, forefront with it. And so it was like, oh, this is going to end in a disaster. And when he got so messed up
So messed
that he
up.
room, and when she came back and he was like, "Why are you still dressed? Where'd you go?" Like, I'm sure it it had only been like 2 hours between the time that you left and she came
Bro,
back room, like,
he was so trash when you have to tell yourself, I gotta go back to the room and take a nap. If you have to go put yourself and take a nap, you know, I have, at least he knew, like, I have gone way too far. I need to go take a nap. But when he was inebriated and started saying all that, I was laughing so hard. And then she had the nerve to walk into the bathroom with him and taking out her extensions. I was laughing so hard. He was so drunk. Okay.
he so messed up. I feel to the point where, like, a little more than just alcoholic beverages could be involved because he
He was hallucinating.
yes, he was so far gone, like, to
He
the
was
point
halluc
where, like, "Why are you dressed? Like, where did you go?" And stuff that he was saying, like, he wasn't even answering her questions, like, he was talking, like, it just did not make sense. Like, I was like, I think there's a little more to it, but I felt bad for her. I was like, "Oh, girl," like, he is self-medicating to the point of trying to convince himself that, like, he loves you and all of you, but the physicality for him, it runs so deep.
Yeah.
God.
And I think that might also be why Jordan and him got so wasted because one, Jordan is starting to realize he is way in over his head and he talked a good game behind the pods, but Sparkle Megan puts the sparkle first
Yes.
and you're broke. Okay. And this is the thing. This is the thing. The drinking, I think you're right. He was like Jordan was trying to like, "Bro, I'm in over my head." And Joe was like, "How am I going to tell this girl on national TV that I like skinny girls and I'm just not attracted to your body type?" Like they were both that was the real key.
Because they kept paying attention to each other, drinking, and, like, completely ignoring the girls, like, talking over them, and, like, they're trying to hang out with their man because all the other couples that actually like each other are hanging out, and the bros were just broing, and they're like, "Man, we really got ourselves in a situation, uh, we got."
Netflix's biggest show. We made it. First of all, we made it to Mexico. We got 3 more weeks. We really proposed to somebody behind a wall. They needed a drink. They needed a drink, but it went too far and they are way in over their heads. And there's no way Madison is saying yes to Joe at the end. There's no
No,
way Joe is saying yes to Madison either.
no, and I think the, previews to the altar, I don't even think Joe gets out of his car.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. In the previews, yeah, somebody's in their car. That's definitely Joe.
That's definitely Joe, and a little sneak peek of Sparkle, Megan, and Jordan house hunting. He nearly pooped his pants when they was looking in the 2 million range. Like, that's too much house. No, not for Sparkle Megan.
And he could never figure out what car she drives. That was another thing. You couldn't even get to the caliber of car. You were going easy. Audi, Mercedes. Sparkle Megan might be in a Bentley.
Yeah, she is not baseline luxury. She is
Exotic.
exotic.
And I can't
Yeah,
wait to find out what car it is, too.
yeah,
Okay, and last but not least, Ali and Anton. I feel I they fell in love so fast. Things are so great and they're just so connected. They have their little I don't did you notice they have their little like tit for tat sometimes? I think Anton is so controlling. I feel like he is like super controlling. I think that Ali is just ready to settle down and like be a wife and be a mom and is willing to look over all red flags and like paint a cake and make the cake work in the box. They're both very beautiful,
yes.
but I feel like and I feel like Anton needs therapy.
I think they all need
Yeah,
therapy.
they all need therapy, but I'm not sold on this.
But yeah, physically beautiful couple. She's
Right.
gorgeous girl, he's a good looking dude, tall, like gives I literally he gave me like skater boy vibes. Which I don't know if that aesthetic's gonna work with her because she's just so like cute and dainty and like
Yeah.
so sweet, but definitely I could see him um being the controlling type with her, manipulating her, like definitely just controlling every bit of her life, and she for whatever reason feels like, well, I this is the best that maybe I'm gonna get.
I didn't even think about that. That could be a real thing.
Yeah, so I feel like that could be her, but I mean, it'll be interesting to see how they play out because I mean, from being the first I love yous, first proposal,
Yeah,
you guys really set the bar high there, and just as fast as it went up, I could see it coming down pretty hard for.
for sure. And I kind of think that, yeah, we really don't know yet. I feel like for them, they fell in love so fast. Like, I think when they start living together and stuff and we see all that play out, it might stay smooth. You never know. It might stay smooth. But sometimes when I feel like the couples that seem too good to be true, once they meet the families, sometimes when it goes left, you know?
Naturally in any situation, like once you meet the family, that is a big shift and it could be like a make it or break it because that it is telling, both parties, not just like the significant other, but like the person that, is their family. So it'll be interesting to see how well they embrace it because again, it's a show and most families are like, you met on a show, you're getting engaged within X amount of weeks. Like, I don't know. Um, but the living situation, trying to do the everyday stuff, is definitely gonna be telling because she's really gonna see like the way he lives. And even I think they previewed a tidbit of an argument or a situation where he was like, come to find out, she's a little messy.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
know,
sorry. Yeah.
little dirty, she
Yeah.
don't pick her clothes up during the week. And it seemed like he was really having a hard time with this. So I think the little things are going to come out, especially during the living situation period. And um, it'll be telling to see whether they can figure it out and, move past the small stuff, really.
Yeah. That's really going to be the deciding like situation. Now, okay, last but not least, which couples do you think are going to make it? Like, let's do our early predictions. Like, who do you, okay, just how like KB tried to do the strongest couples or whatever. Okay, who do you think is going to make it to the aisle and say yes?
I think my top four is going to be to get there. I think Andy and Nick.
Yeah.
I think they're just gonna ride this wave.
Yeah, they have to.
I want to say uh KB and Edmund. I think they'll make it to the altar. I feel like Annie and Anton, and then I feel like Sparkle, Megan, Jordan will be the top four to make it to the altar. Um,
Wait, you met Nick and Annie?
yes, Nick and Annie.
Okay.
Yeah, Nick and Annie. I think they'll all make it to the altar. In a weird way, in a really weird way, I think Annie and Nick are gonna say yes.
Yeah, it feels that way.
Gives me They kind of creep me out because I get like brother sister vibes from them.
Yeah, really. But I loved her hair though. I loved her hair. It was random, but yeah.
You like I just like yeah, I just love her in general, but they just give me this brother sister vibes that's kind of creepy. And but I feel like they're just gonna be the ones to say yes because she's got nothing to lose and he's got um he's got this facade to uphold. Um Whether they m make it in the long run, we'll have to see, but I feel like they're definitely saying yes. Edmund and KB, I have to see how the rest goes. Because I feel like she
But the
might.
thing, Edmund's not gonna pass the family test. They're
No.
gonna be like, "Why are you with this weirdo?" They're gonna be so against him being so odd. That's what I think, but there's a chance that they won't be. They might be a loving, great. They might just be all supportive. We don't really know. But I don't see KB being able to say yes. I just don't see it.
Yeah. That one, because of the whole, like, what she really wants out of her man is not giving, and then the whole intimacy thing, those 2 are gonna be the definitive, uh, topics that will make or break them, so we'll see if they can talk it through or not. I feel like Sparkle, Megan, and Jordan, logically, she needs to say no. She needs to say no. I feel like if she says yes, it's gonna be the fact that she's holding on to her dad and the Luca connection. She really honed down to that, like, there's a reason why, like, you know, I met you and, the connection with my dad and Luca, like, that's a sign. It has to be a sign. Like, my dad did that. And it's like,
It's
as much as we love that connection, I don't think it's enough to look past, like, the ways they both want to live. The fact that he already has a child and is like, "Look, I got child support to pay. I got all this other stuff. I drive Kia, like, I live very modestly."
simple.
Well, not because he wants to, but I think because he has to. And unless she's down to be Miss Sugar Mama and just be the breadwinner and be that, then that I think it'll work in that sense. But if she's looking for that 50-50 type partnership, it's not it. It's not it. And y-
Think I think she's gonna drop Jordan. I think she's gonna go with Mike, and I think Anna's gonna come back on the show, and she's gonna be with. I think she's gonna be with Patrick. Not Patrick. Sorry, no, no. I think she's gonna be with Blake.
really,
I think.
see, I think she might go with Patrick.
Oh, we're gonna see.
I really feel like she's gonna see Patrick. They're gonna talk about it. And yeah,
I hope. I kind of hope she goes with Patrick, but I don't know if Patrick proposing to Casey and Blake leaving and going after Anna is gonna play a part. That's the part that I don't know.
Blake go after Anna. I don't think he went after Anna.
Yeah, he left the show. Remember? Because then he ghosted Sparkle Megan.
Yeah, but was it because of Anna? I thought he just, like,
Yeah.
couldn't
He
deal
found
with,
no, he found out Anna left and he ditched the show.
the same reasons she did. I didn't take away that he left because of her.
See, I was the editing to me was he left because of Anna.
Well, we'll see.
We'll see, yeah.
All get together.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed our first recap. This was episode 1 through 6, so obviously it's a longer recap. But we'll be back for episode 7, 8, and 9. Hopefully it'll be uploaded by this weekend. So I hope you guys enjoyed the show today. Danielle, great job. Danielle's first time on camera. So great job, Danielle. And we will see you guys next time.
See ya.